The only other game that I spent this much time on my first playthrough was Red Dead Redemption 2. The reason that I spent 2 months with that game was because I loved it so much. That was one of the best gaming experiences that I've ever had. I I didn't want to quit. I did not want to leave that beautiful game world, and I spent a lot of my time during those 2 months just wandering through the world. I did a lot of the side quests. I can't say all of them, but I think I did most of them. And I just loved riding my horse around the map. The weather, the dynamic weather was just incredible. I live in California, so, it's obviously kind of dry here, even during the winter months. And I love the rain. The rain effects, the storms in that game were just phenomenal. So much of my time in the game, the changing weather, I was lucky, I guess, I don't know, but I had a lot of very intense storms, and thunder and lightning. And I did one particular video on just that down at, what was it, the Van Horn Trading Post. Anyway, I bought Sekiro when it launched, and I just beat the Guardian Ape. And the reason I brought up Red Dead was that I stayed with that game for a very different reason that I'm staying with Sekiro, or why it's taking me so long to get through this game. I've gotten better in my feelings about it. I mean, I still don't enjoy just using the katana, and I have moments when I think if I see that block, parry, deflect animation one more time, I'm just gonna lose it. I've never thrown a controller before. I've come close to it, but so much of my angst with this game and making me feel like, my gosh, I want to smash something, is because of having to fight so many of the enemies, with this kind of limited combat system. I know that it does help having the skills and the prosthetic tools and all of that, but this is something for me that's been kind of a sticking point. And it's why I keep quitting the game and coming back to it. There's also the fact that I am struggling with the combat, because I don't enjoy it. I think I have kind of a mental block about it. When I got to this particular boss, I had some problems with him. I know I'm not the only one. I think one thing that I find interesting as a gamer is that you can go into the particular game and you can struggle with certain bosses and not so much with others. And then if you go online and you watch different walkthroughs of the same game, you can see that other people just breezed right through that particular boss that you were struggling with. But I've also found that there are times when I get through a boss fairly easily, and then gone online and watched some walkthroughs of it and seen other people struggling with that boss. So it varies, and why we struggle with some and not with others, who knows? I guess it really doesn't matter. The bottom line for me with the Guardian Ape was that I could get through the initial stage. I mean, it took me some time to learn his patterns, to get used to all of it, because it is so chaotic. But there are patterns there, and I got them down, and I managed, to get through that phase. And then I got to the second one, and you would think, or I would think personally, that the fact that it's slower, that it's in this kind of slow-mo animation, it would be easier. I mean, I thought it would be easier when I saw how it was going to, to play out, but as it turns out, it wasn't for me. For some reason, my brain just wasn't working with the slow-mo. It kind of creeped me out a little bit, especially the headless part. But I could not seem to get my brain to work with that particular animation. And I failed a lot. I got him down really close a couple of times. And then I guess, brain freeze or something. I screwed up a couple of times, and then it was just all down the crapper from that point. And I died. I was getting so frustrated. I thought, this is the boss that's going to make me have to quit the game. I know I can't progress, unless I do beat him. And I can't. It just seems like I can't. So I took a bit of a break, and I came back. I did a lot better. Screwed up again. This has just been trial and error for me, and a lot of frustration. But I finally beat him. I stayed with it long enough. My gamer pride would not let me quit. So I got through it. I finally got through that second phase. I actually felt better about it than I thought I would. Very honestly, some of the bosses in this game, even the mini bosses, when I finally, have managed to kill them, instead of feeling really good, I thought, oh my God, fuck, I don't have to do this again. I'm just so grateful. And it was just sort of, I don't know. I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't happy. I didn't feel that gamer high that I wanted to. With the Guardian Ape, because I did struggle so much with that second stage, when I got past it, I felt pretty good. I really did. I thought, I was close to giving up. I didn't. And so that success, it felt good. It really did. So right now, I'm a happy gamer because I can actually move on and see what lies beyond this particular point. I have watched, again, I've been watching some walkthroughs of this, but I haven't gone past this point because I didn't want to spoil it for me. So it feels good that I can continue on now, and I'm sure I'll find some other areas and bosses that, I hope they don't give me as much trouble as this one did, but I know, I'm going to be butting my head up against them a bit too, so that's all.